and welcome to Inner Circle Guidance. Today we're going to be doing a collective reading. But for those of you who are new to the circle, hello and welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I post new readings every single day. And if you're looking for personal services or personal readings, I offer them through my website, innercircleguidance.com. Since the eclipse is happening, let's find out what the circle needs to know about the energy surrounding the eclipse. Okay, there's quite a bit of resistance in the cards while I was shuffling, so let's see what is coming out here. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Chalices. We have the Two of Swords. We have the Six of Chalices on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to get some clarity on this Two of Swords. We have the Six of Pentacles. We have the Six of Swords. Interesting. Two sixes. Three sixes. Look at that. Wow. 666. Let's start with tackling 666. So 666 gets a bad rap because a lot of people associate that with the number of the beast. But really 666 has to do with balance and refocusing of your energies. That really ties into eclipse season and the eclipse in general, as eclipses tend to bring about heavy emotions. They redirect your focus and energy towards things. It's a season where a lot is brought up to be released or healed, or you are meant to sort of realign. With Six of Chalices being the overall underlying energy. The Six of Chalices is a card of independence. It's a card of abundance. It's a card of being self-sustaining in various ways. So this has to do with your career. This has to do with spiritually. This has to do with financially. Really being able to trust and rely on yourself. This has to do with confidence, being self-confident, and having the confidence in the decisions you make and the choices that you make, and believing in your hard work and that it's going to pay off. This can be a card that has to do with your childhood, with generosity. Overall, it is a card that is focusing on happiness and returning to happier times, or returning to positivity, returning to something that was lost, or bettering something that was lost, or replacing something that was lost. This is very much a card that can appear when you have creative projects you're working on, when you're working in teams. This can have to do with memories or past influences. In some situations, it has to do with reunions or apologies. This can have to do with having support, but it can also mean protection and letting go of the past, growing up, maturity, leaving home. Sometimes it can deal with dealing with boredom or resolving childhood abuse or childhood issues. I know it's a lot of different variations, and I feel like for all of you watching, it's going to kind of depend on exactly what you're going through at this time and what your situation is, which can be better dived into if you do a personal reading. But ultimately, the Six of Chalices is a positive card. And for this card in particular, it really has to do with a redirection and refocus on your energies, on yourself. So this is like a card of self-care in this particular deck, which for a lot of you is going to fit because eclipses have a tendency to have very strong energies. The Knight of Wands is a card where the energy can sort of be overpowering, or you can feel sort of heavily influenced by your energies. It's very natural to feel very tired, to have headaches, to feel a little off, to have massive downloads happen during and around the eclipse season. This is also a time when sometimes emotions can run very high, or you can have sudden emotional outbursts, such as suddenly breaking down and crying, finding things very amusing for really no apparent reason, emotional things that where it's like your emotions are at a heightened state, but you may not always know exactly why. That's ultimately what happens around the eclipse. Things are amplified and things that are hidden come to the surface. So that can come in different ways. For a lot of you, I'm seeing with the 10 of Swords that there's certain cycles or certain things in your life, things that have extended way past the expiration date, or things that you have carried with you for a long time that haven't been healed, or that should have been let go, resolved, put away, whatever. It hasn't. And anything that is like that in your life will be brought to the surface for healing. It'll be triggered so that you can figure out what needs your attention. This also is an energy that's going to be in transition. So not only are your emotions energy in transit, and it's going to be about emotion, but it's also going to be about you literally going from one stage to another. For a lot of you, it's going to be closing out cycles. It's going to be starting new beginnings. It's going to be rebirths and spiritual awakenings. It's going to be having massive spiritual downloads that then allow you to move forward in a different way. The Queen of Pentacles is making sure that you're nurturing what you want to grow, that you're putting your time and energy in the places that are most your priority. This can also sometimes mean that you may need to do some rearranging in terms of your priorities and figuring out if you're actually sending your time and your energy to those priorities. The Queen of Pentacles can also mean that for those of you who have a tendency to overgive, this awakening that you're going through and this eclipse season, and this eclipse in particular that's happening today, is going to be making you very aware of any codependency and codependency issues that you may have in your life. This can be codependency on your part or codependency on the part of the people in your life that you perpetuate. 9 of Chalices is an indication that you're going to be able to move into happier times in terms of your relationship with the different things in your life, your relationship to yourself, and your relationship specifically with people. The 9 of Chalices also indicates, though, that there's going to be some areas that you're going to recognize could use a bit of infused energy or improvement, and that's going to become very clear to you. The 2 of Swords is indicating, though, that this is not the time for you to be taking action. This is sort of a time for you to be reflecting. And what I'm seeing here is that with the 6 of Pentacles and the 6 of Swords, there's sort of this duality energy that you're going to be dealing with, or that you're going to need to come to terms with, where the 6 of Pentacles has to do with reciprocity, it has to do with giving, it has to do with balance, it has to do with making sure that what you're giving is intentional, because it's what and how you will receive things. And what I mean by that is the intention behind your giving and the intention behind how you give your time and energy to people, situations, and things is going to be the energy in which you receive it. This is very much an energy of making sure that when you have the ability and you have the desire to help and give, that you are doing so and not forgetting those who have helped you, and that you are sort of paying it forward, but also that you are paying it forward to yourself in the sense that you are also doing this from a place and intention that is pure. So you're not giving because you're looking to receive something in return. Again, this gets back to sort of this overgiving energy of codependency. Remember that when you're giving a gift or receiving a gift, the gift is only fully pure as a gift if there's no expectation behind it. For some of you, you may need to start to recognize new ways of giving and receiving. This may mean that you may need to look at if you are self-sacrificing in order to give and receive things. If you are over giving to situations or people, if you are giving everything you've got to everyone and everything else and not giving it to yourself, but you're really being prompted to pay attention to how you define giving, how you define receiving, how those transactions play out, how you feel about those transactions, and maybe any imbalances that may be present. The 6 of Swords indicates that there is a new way of being, thinking, feeling, and doing that is on the horizon. There's also the ability that the universe is giving you to sort of cross a bridge into new territory. When it comes to giving, when it comes to the way that you receive and feel worthy of receiving. There's also going to be sort of this ability for you to shift into a calmer sort of energy. This is an ability to heal. This is an ability to refocus on things that are important to you. This is the ability to realign and be more specific with what it is that you want to manifest. Some of you may have sort of taken a detour recently because of expectations, perceptions, or the way that you view giving and receiving. I also just heard for some of you, you need to redefine love, the different levels and kinds of love that you recognize, and you may need to actually write these different things down and define them for yourself. There may be some sort of divine guidance here that will help you in terms of the way you view things and your certain perspectives, which will give you an insight as to any limiting beliefs or default settings that you may have been working under or influences from your past. I'm ultimately seeing here that there's going to be a lot of abundance coming in, and there's also going to be release and healing that's going to be coming in if you allow it, but you're being prompted to not really force things. Allow it to sort of come naturally. Keep in mind that you don't need to necessarily choose between your healing and giving and receiving. You can find sort of a happy middle ground. You don't have to have everything be in extremes. For some of you, that's going to be the lesson that ultimately is going to come to the forefront with this eclipse, is that all of these different things, maybe you've been working in extreme energies and you're being prompted to work from a place of consistency, of peace, of tranquility, and recognize that love, giving, and receiving can exist positively in a less extreme manner. So I'm going to leave the reading here. If it resonated with you, don't forget to like this video and comment your affirmation down below. Your affirmation for this reading is, I am open to receiving the gifts of the eclipse and eclipse season. And as always, may your life be full of light, full of love, abundance, and gratitude. I'll see you next time.